Most business owners quit YouTube right before things get good. And that's because they're chasing the wrong definition of big. I know because I almost quit too. Let me show you this here. This graph shows my channel growth during the early years. And I was going to quit right around here. In fact, that was actually the third time that I was going to quit. I was also going to quit here, and I think back here, and obviously you can see I kept going, and exactly what happened. I have no idea what my life would have been like had I quit YouTube. I'd probably be stuck back working in a corporate job. So if you want a YouTube channel that transforms your business and your life over the next year with as little friction as possible, here's what you need to start doing right now. The reason most entrepreneurs stall out on YouTube is because they end up looking in the wrong place for validation. The early days of YouTube are an uphill climb, but if all you do is look at your views, it's never going to feel fast enough. Never have I published a video and said, oh my gosh, slow down, stop giving me so many views, YouTube audience, right? It's not gonna happen. So you can't look there early on for the signals to validate the work that you're putting in. But if you redefine what a big YouTube channel is, this shifts everything. So for me, a big YouTube channel is any channel, no matter what the views or subscribers are, that grows your trust and authority, that generates income for you, and grows your business. This here is my first, 5 or 6 months on YouTube. As you can see, it was just a handful of views and subscribers here and there. A lot of days actually got 0 subscribers and 0 views. Those are the days that I almost quit a bunch of times. But when I started looking in the right places, I got my first client from YouTube with 17 subscribers 11 days after I published my first video. When you put your expertise on YouTube and somebody sees it, they go, oh, this man or woman knows what they're talking about. I wonder if I can hire them. That can happen for you. I had 2 paid speaking gigs, clearly showing I was demonstrating and raising my authority in the first 2 months on my channel, even though I had less than 30 subscribers. It doesn't take a lot. But that's not all you need. A lot of entrepreneurs feel like they're not expert enough to post on YouTube yet. And maybe you're feeling this too. You see the biggest people in your industry or your niche, and maybe they've got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, a million subscribers even. You think, well, how would I ever compete with that? Well, you know why they look like they have so much authority? Because they started right where you are now. So you've got to keep going. Now, I got to call some people out real quick, and you might be in this group, okay? If you are a perfectionist, or I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist, lean in a little bit, okay? Come on. YouTube is not a place for perfection. I'm gonna prove it to you in just a second, but a quick story. So before I worked in marketing and teaching people YouTube, I actually worked as a radio personality. So if you were listening to the radio in whatever your city was, I might have been one of the people that was on there talking. And I had a session with my boss called an air check session, which is basically where they listen to a tape of your show and they tell you how you're doing. So one day, my boss at the time listened to my show and then said, yep, everything sounds great, keep it up. And I paused for a second and I looked at him and I said, if everything sounds so good, how come I'm here as a part-time employee and not instead doing the morning show, which is the #1 time slot, in New York City, which is the #1 radio market in the country? And he looked at me and he said, I don't know, let me think about that. I'll get back to you. So the next day I came in, I was like, am I still perfect? Did you come up with anything? He said, funny you should mention that. Yeah, you're too perfect. Everything you say sounds completely polished. Your voice never squeaks, you never stumble over your words, and I'd worked so hard at being perfect. And he said, let the guard down. Be less perfect. So the next time I was on the air, I started being less perfect. Occasionally my voice would squeak. It was fine. Even if it was pre-recorded, I might mess up my words. It's fine. Left it in, just kept moving. I started sharing more of myself, being more vulnerable. And that's when my career took off. Nobody can relate to our perfection. If you put the perfect Instagram feed of you out there, nobody can relate to that. On YouTube, people are looking for human connection, even in videos about entrepreneurship like this. So when you go to YouTube and you think about this, let go of perfectionism. You don't need it. And here's another way I want to demonstrate that YouTube is not a place for perfection. This is a photo of my father-in-law, who happens to be a structural engineer for a big airplane manufacturer. And I think we can both agree, airplane manufacturing is a place for perfection. We want them to keep the planes in the air. Yes? Meanwhile, on YouTube, people can upload whatever they want. It is not a place for perfection. You can still come across as professional, but it's okay. You can say, you can say, you can check your notes because you didn't have an entire script memorized. Just get your expertise out there. And one of the coolest parts that nobody notices until they start publishing on YouTube is a lot of the population doesn't want to learn from the biggest person in that niche or industry. So if you're in a crowded industry, or you know you have somebody who is maybe way ahead of you on YouTube in your industry, a lot of people don't want to learn from them. They want to learn from you. They want to learn from somebody who is maybe only a year or two ahead of them. So start publishing more videos. YouTube is not a test you can fail. It's a lab, and you're going to get better at it the more that you do. Now, if that idea made you uncomfortable, this next one should feel a little bit more reassuring. If you're in your early stages of YouTube, this is probably the worst you'll ever be at it. Think about that. Right now is probably the worst you'll ever be at recording videos, editing videos, speaking about your topic. Think of something else that you do really well in your life right now. Were you always this good at it? I remember being in, I was probably 8 years old or so, and being told for my assignment that I had to write a 50-word essay. And I literally remember walking out of the room that day, arms slumped over, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to come up with 50 words? By the time I was in college at the University of Washington, if a professor assigned a paper, as long as it was 10 pages or less, I was like, psh, I got this. Same thing will happen for you when you start going on YouTube. But even now that you know that, you have to watch out for the biggest trap on YouTube, and that is chasing shortcuts. YouTube is full of distractions and shiny objects. Oh, maybe I should try shorts. Maybe I should start doing live streams. I should start a membership on YouTube. I'll talk more about this in a video that I'll point you to in a second. But one long-form video a week is all you need to grow a lead-generating YouTube channel, okay? That's it. Stay focused. Don't get distracted. The best growth hack is actually being helpful. So if you think, oh, I want to put more time into my channel right now, put more time into my videos, then do it. But put more time into the videos that you're already making. Make them more helpful, make them more useful. That will help you grow faster. Now, I know I've been very positive in this video about YouTube, and I've been called annoyingly optimistic from close friends of mine. I truly believe optimism is a superpower, but I want to be realistic with you too. This is not going to happen for you overnight. You're not going to publish one video and go, oh my gosh, I've got leads for the next 10 years. This is amazing. I've gone viral. It's not going to happen. It's going to be harder in the beginning. But let me tell you why optimism is so important and how it will serve you well. If you believe that YouTube is going to work for you, and if you have a good strategy, you should believe that it's going to work for you, because if you don't bother starting. But if you have a good strategy and you believe it's going to work for you, whenever you run into a speed bump or a road hump, they call them different things around the world, but a small bump in the road, if you believe it's going to work, let's say you go to record and your recording software is not working, or you go to upload and your internet is out or your power's out. If you don't believe it's going to work, you're going to go, this is just so hard. This will never, ever work for me. The universe is conspiring against my YouTube success, because you're looking for that. When you don't believe something will work, you're looking for reasons that it won't. But if you believe it's going to work, if the internet's out, you go, oh, bummer. I'll try again later. That's it. Optimism makes the difference. Every little hiccup remains a hiccup instead of a huge illness that you have to overcome when you are optimistic and believe YouTube is going to work for you. Now, even after all that, YouTube comes with some risk, right? Even if you already have a decent phone and I used a $15 microphone that I already owned to start my channel and record the first 25 videos. Even if you have all that, there's still the risk of investing your time. There's still the risk sometimes of, putting yourself out there. That can feel scary. But instead of looking at the risk as a downside, I want you to look at it as your best friend, because that's why most people won't bother. Can you imagine if all 8, 9, 10 billion people on the planet all decided to start growing on YouTube? Be real crowded. Even though there are tons of people out there on YouTube, there is so much opportunity for you, your expertise, and your business. It is 100% worth the risk. If you can commit to one video a week for, let's say, 6 months, then start. And if you can't, then you probably haven't decided it's important enough, and that's okay. Walk away. But otherwise, take the risk. It is worth it. See? Now, you're probably thinking, okay, great. Well, what do I do? How do I start? If I have an existing channel that's not working, what do I do first? If you click the video on the screen, I'm going to show you the exact process for getting more views and then turning those views into leads and sales for your business. All right? Click the video on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.